And we're live.
We are live once again for another fun and exciting Wednesday webinar. We've got an awesome guest here with us today. The man who needs no introduction. Pavan, do you want to introduce him?
Yes, Coach Pipes. And if those of you who saw the social media post of Coach Pipes and I surfing, you're all going to be thoroughly disappointed because we are not in our bathing suits.
No, we are not. Or are we? I could be. So you never know, right?
So we are going to be talking about surfing the AI tsunami and never cold call again, which Coach Pipes is like, what the heck are you talking about?
Yeah, dude, like that was we're gonna have to dig into that because that was surprise. I thought it was a misprint, like having me come on and we're talking never cold call again, man. People were like, dude, are you really gonna be talking about that? I had people texting me, right? So yeah, should be fun.
Yes. So Coach Pipe is an amazing coach, number one coach. He has built a massive coaching franchise and network. Probably one of the most sought after real estate coaches in the universe. He normally charges a gazillion dollars for an hour.
Yep. And
you all get it for free today. Right. So he's going to take a pretty serious chunk of my hide for
that's right, exactly.
For this session. So listen up carefully. I'm paying with a lot of blood today.
Blood, sweat, and tears, baby. Yes,
yeah, exactly.
Pavan. Blood, sweat, and tears. So, yeah. Hey, bro, I just want to say thank you. Many of you, obviously, you guys know who Pavan is, right? And some of you know who I am. But I got to tell you, I thoroughly, over the course of this last year, because it's been about right about a year now, Pavan, that you and I have been in communication and talking, and like I've been every single conversation, every single dialogue, I'm walking away from Pavan. This is my measure, man. Like it's my measure of, do I want to spend more time with somebody? Is, can I contribute to them and do they contribute to me? Right. That is like one of the biggest measures. Do I walk away inspired? Do I walk away more intelligent? Do I walk away with more clarity? Do I walk away just feeling like a better human being, business person in some way? And I can say definitively, bro, with every single conversation we've had, there's been something that I've taken away. Right. And I'm super grateful for that. So I'm honored to be on this. Let's rock it, man. Let's see how can this organic dude, right, who's all about prospecting and getting on the phone, and this super brilliant engineer, business entrepreneur of the solarverse, how can we come together and meld this right now for everyone to be able to actually walk away going, oh shit, man, here's how these two things go together. So
now if I wasn't so dark, you'd all be seeing me blush right now. But before we start, Angel, you have some announcements.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you guys stay to the end because Coach Pipes is going to be sharing with you a few of his top tricks for closing more deals, which that's why y'all are here. You want to learn how to close more deals. As Pavan said, these are tips that people spend a lot of money hiring Coach Pipes to hear about, and you guys are going to get it here for free. So also, he mentioned before we went live, the more engagement we get on this call, the more he's going to be inclined to share. So he's definitely going to share a few tidbits here that'll help you close more deals, but the more, make sure you like, subscribe, ask your questions in the chat. We're going to be monitoring it live, answering questions that you guys have for Coach Pipes, for Pavan, all throughout the call. And then make sure you stay to the end because depending on how engaged you guys get, we're going to get at least 3 hot tips, but he said he would share up to 10. If he's really impressed. So.
Hit the subscribe, hit the like buttons right now. Get some comments on. The more you engage, the more I want to give. That's just the game right now. So yes.
Yeah, you heard him say that the more he feels like he can give to you and that he's going to get, it's a mutually beneficial relationship, right? So
yeah, 100%.
All right. So my first question to you, Coach, is how did you become a leader in the real estate industry?
So I've been in this game of real estate now from a coaching perspective, from a agent perspective, from a having my own team perspective, actually having a mortgage company. We had directlender.com in Fountain Valley, California, right? Which was an affiliate branch company that back in like 2004, 5, and 6. I've been doing this since I was, and it's now 27, 28 years. And if I really look at what the superpower that I have is, and I wouldn't say by any means would I go, I'm super successful. I'd say I'm on the path, right? But what I learned a long time ago is the more I can surround myself and be around highly successful individuals that are further along the path than I am, then the less that I am going to actually step in the puddle, step in the dog poo poo, right? Like trip over the root, get hit by the lion or the bear that's standing in the woods. I don't have to make those same mistakes, right? So, if anything, the success that I have is built on the shoulders of like Mike Ferry, Gary Keller, Dan Pena, even Tom Ferry, John Shep, like all my contemporaries, some of them more primary mentors, right? I just was at a young age really adopted, Pavan, this thought of surrender, right? Even when you and I talk, man, I'm just like, Pavan is much more successful than I probably will ever be in this lifetime based upon what it is he's created, et cetera. I should just shut up and listen. Right? I should surrender is the word, right? To whatever it is that he is saying. And that is that's really difficult because it requires to be able to put the ego aside, right? And be able to actually go, okay, dude, I'm just going to take everything in. And I'm going to recognize that these individuals that are my mentors, these individuals that are trying to contribute to me, only want to do it not out of their own self-interest, but out of seeing me be able to actually perform at the highest level that I possibly can. So why would I not just surrender to everything that they say? So really it's two things. I surrounded myself with the right people, listen to them, right? And then executed on what it is that they said with blind faith, right? Okay. And did it always work? No, but it worked 85% of the time, right? And which got me along the path a lot faster, a lot quicker, with less ups and downs, man.
Yeah. Well, I like to put it this way. Who wouldn't want to go to a casino where the slot machine pays out 85% of the time? You'd be dropping in dollars in there all day long.
Yep.
Right.
I would not leave. I'd be there again. I'd be sitting next to the old lady that has the cigarette that's hanging out there, that's been there like for like 6 days, right? And it's just like ring, 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 going. Yes. So I'd be battling for that one with her.
Yeah. And I think you made a good point. I mean, there's a psychology study that it demonstrates that it doesn't matter how old you get. There's an old adage, old dogs don't learn new tricks, which is false. And they proved it to be false. It doesn't matter how old you get, the human brain's capacity to learn stays more or less flat.
Yeah.
Okay. So it isn't that you learn more when you're young and you don't learn as when you get older. It's just that when you're young, you don't have the ego blocking you from learning. You're open to learning. Right. So when I was teaching AI class last month or a couple of months ago, that was my first advice to these kids. I was like, hey, every teacher is a student and every student is a teacher. So just recognize when you're a teacher and when you're a student, okay, and be prepared in the professional world for those tables to be constantly turning. So I said, when you're in class, you're a student and I'm the teacher, and your guard is down, your ego is down, you're just here to learn.
Yep.
Okay, but in the professional world, people don't want to ever accept there's a teacher and student, but there is a constant back and forth. Okay, and if people just accept that is continuous, that we're learning from each other all the time and we're teaching each other all the time, and just be ready to absorb when it's time to absorb and be ready to teach when it's time to teach.
Yeah. And here's the cool thing, Pavan. Let's flip this over to AI for a second. Okay. Like I was listening to you going, oh, if you look at why AI is able to continue to learn at such an accelerated pace, I mean, there's all types of, we could go algorithmically and why it is and et cetera. And the expansion of exponential, like the exponents in terms of how it begins to grow. But here's the main thing. AI doesn't have an ego. it doesn't push back, at least not yet, right? It doesn't push back. And so I say, well, I already know that. And I already know, well, I think I'm going to do it AI doesn't go, I'm going to do it my way. It just goes, give me all the data, give me all the information. I'm going to assimilate, right? And really there's, I think, a lot for us to learn from that, because if we surrendered at the same level that AI actually surrenders to the data as it's coming to it, imagine how much further along in our businesses we would be no matter what it was. But our ego pushes back and we want to do it our way. We want to actually, it needs to be proven to me. Well, I heard someone else say that this doesn't work. Well, my parents didn't do it that way. Of all that BS that just hampers us, which really technology doesn't have, you know?
Yeah. And I'm seeing we're getting some engagement on the comments. Thank you, Ignacio. Thank you, Kevin Toll. So it looks like our audience has surrendered.
Good.
They're ready to learn.
KT, baby. KT. I love it. And then we got and we got Ignacio. Thank you, Ignacio. Right. Okay. But so did you put something on there that said no more cold calling? Right. And I want to address that, because I believe that the best businesses, Pavan, are prospecting based and they're marketing enhanced, right? That they're prospecting based, that at the core of what we have to do in any organization. I mean, let's look at SunWest. SunWest, I guarantee you, the loan officers were on the phone, out in front of, meeting in front of agents. I heard you in the Housing Wire interview, man. You're like, yeah, they need to go out and they need to get face to face. They need to get belly to belly. They need to actually build those relationships. So like when there's a thing that says, don't cold call ever again, that I saw that. You guys don't know this. I actually sent Pavan a text. I said, yo, bro, that may be off my brand a little bit, you know? And so did I not, man? It was like the text. I'm like, we may want to be careful with that. He said, hey, let me explain to you. And we started talking. I went, oh man, I'm so on board. So I'm going to flip it on you and go, dude, can you take us through how it is that, we can take my model of that you have got to prospect. Yeah. Like if you're a real estate agent and you're watching this, if you're a loan officer and you're watching this, here's the thing. You've got to spend an hour a day at a minimum, 2 hours a day, ideally 3 hours a day for the ballers to be able to actually grow your business. Right. And I've always said this, Pavan and Angel, that an hour a day in this world that we're in of some type of lead generation where you're having actual conversations, right, is a survival level. If you're not outreaching to and talking to, whether it be a borrower, a buyer, a seller, an agent, if you're a loan officer or strategic partners, your business is not going to grow in this world that we're in, right? If you do 2 hours, and I've done the math on this, 2 hours, your business does grow. 1 hour, you don't have to get out of the business, but you just survive, right? Okay. 2 hours, I'm going to get some growth, right? 3 hours, if I do it for 200 days, I'm going to get a breakthrough in my business, in my performance and everything. I guarantee you. You guys want to know one of the hacks? Commit to 2 hours a day of lead generation in some way, shape, form. Now, all of a sudden, as I'm saying this, bro, what comes up to me, Pavan, is there a way? Because people always ask me, man, am I afraid that AI is going to disrupt the coaching industry and the consulting industry, right? Do you think you're going to be replaced? I said, no, I really don't, right? I think there's always going to be some need for that human interaction, that relationship, as you said on the Housing Wire, rapport. You can't, although eventually, I mean, who knows? Like Angel and I were joking around. I'm like, Angel, the company is now about it's your name, right? And we were joking, and she's like, well, I'm not AI. And then she goes, or am I? Right? And I went, whoa, okay. So the Bill and Ted moment right there. Yeah, Pavan, wow. But so let me go back to, I think AI for me as a consultant, me as a coach, me as a speaker is a great tool for me to use. I was just listening to, I forget what his name is, but he was one of the ex Google employees, one of the head ups in Google. He was talking about right now where AI actually sits, where ChatGPT sits, is it's about 155 IQ. So it's basically like having, what's his name? Having Einstein in my back pocket, right? So I will be on coaching calls, no joke. Sorry, all my coaching clients. I'm looking over here, I'll have Chat GPT up. I'll go, Chat GPT, tell me, is there another way to look about such? Gives me an insight. Maybe I don't use it exactly, but it brings a new edge into what I'm doing with my coaching clients at that point. So here's what came up for me. is it possible that agents could make fewer calls with AI that warms them up so that they're not having that 3 hours turns into 1, and they can either triple their production or they can cut back on the amount of time that it takes?
I'll put it this way. Right. Your best agent, who's like a machine in cold calling, how many calls do you think an hour they can make?
If they're on a dialing system, 7, maybe. Okay,
Right.
7 to 10. If they're depending upon who they're calling and how long those conversations. So I'd say the range is 5 to
Right.
10.
Right.
Yeah.
So what if you had the ability to multiply yourself and go from 7 to hundreds of calls in an hour, right?
Being insane.
Yeah, and that's what the AI solution does for you. So I'm gonna back it up for a minute. And I know you were too young to have lived through this, but back in the 80s, right, every desk in an office had a roll of stamps and envelopes and letterhead. So when's the last time, Coach, you sent out a letter? You actually licked a stamp, put it on an envelope, and sent out a letter.
Do you know what's funny? I think it was probably 8 or 9 months ago, and I said, "What in the hell am I doing?" Right? Like I literally, like I had to go. I remember this. I'm like, where do I even go to get stamps? I went through my drawers and stuff. I'm like, do I have any in here? I had to go to the not even the grocery store. I went to the post office and I got stamps, and then I licked it, and then I had to go back in my car and like drive to it was
Like so the whole process, right?
Yeah.
It takes so much time that email, right, replaced. Technology is such a human enhancer, right? So what we were doing with stamps and envelopes and letters in the 80s, no one ever does that anymore. And now that you did one 9 months ago, you realize how time consuming it was, and how much of your life was returned to you by one technology. Okay. So AI is a human enhancer. It's not a human replacer. Okay. So there was a study done by Harvard that says 41% of your day should be or can be replaced by a personal. If you hired a personal assistant, you would get 41% of your day back to you. Okay. Just like how email saved all that time sending out letters.
Yep.
So AngelAi in particular is your personal assistant, and it will return 41% of your day or more. Actually, I'm seeing our loan officers are getting like 90% of the day back to them.
Wow.
And I say, hey man, go get some more loans, go out and visit more realtors and visit more attorneys and get in front of more customers. Because you can, don't take it easy. Don't go to the beach. Go get more loans in the door.
Triple, if you get 90% back, oh my gosh, man, you could do the same amount of work and get 900 times the results in terms of loans. And well, you have a bigger problem, which is you'd walk into the bank and they go like this every single time, man. So, how can a real estate agent be able to actually use this? Like, because I'm sitting here thinking, okay, Angel, we got this great technology, AngelAi, right? I have thousands and tens of thousands of agents that are going to either be watching this or that I want to be able to expose to this idea, because, like I'd love to be able to tell them what you used to be able to do in 3 hours, you can get in 1 hour, which means you can triple your production by keeping your habits in place. How could a real estate agent use this? I'm asking for myself, actually. So,
yeah. So there was and that's a good question, because eMortgage Hawaii said, I'm using phone burner. I can do 40 to 50. And that's actually right. If you're using a good phone system, you can get to 40 to 50.
That's 40 to 50 calls and like, it's not, there's no way someone's no way someone's having 40 to 50 conversations in an hour. That's
right.
Yeah. Hey, how are you doing? Okay, good. Next. Okay, great. Like, it's just dialing. So
yeah. But the reality is most of the calls you make, you get voicemail. And then when you actually connect, you're going to connect. So the advantage here, and if you're using phone burner or a system like that, they charge you $200-300 a month per number to use those systems. So how about like not having to worry about any of that? So what you can do is you can, and Angel's going to show you this, Angel Elliott. is going to show you this. Not AngelAi, Angel Elliott, and she's real. She is not an AI.
Angel EL versus Angel AI.
Yes, there we go. So she's going to show you exactly how it works. But so we had, I'll give you an example. We had a real estate broker recently, 3 weeks ago. Go into AngelAi. She was having an event, basically a training recruiting event. She uploaded 25,000 agents in her market into AngelAi and asked AngelAi to call them all for her, inviting them to the event, and asked AngelAi to send them emails, and asked AngelAi to set up a landing page. It generated a landing page for the event. Okay. And drove people to the landing page, and every single one of those people were called at least 3 times. Right. And I know at least of a dozen people who attended the event because they were so persistently followed up. And I know that she ended up recruiting several people. And so much so that a competing broker was mad at me because she's like, AngelAi is recruiting my people. I said, no, she's not. So you could use it too. You know all about it. I was like, I know you've been to my talks. You know how AngelAi works. You just didn't use the tool. So don't be afraid of AI. Be afraid of your competitor who is using AI.
So smart.
Right? Yeah. So she heard my talk once. She jumped right on it. She started using it. She attended a workshop. She started using it, and it all got done. And guess what? It's the magic number. It's free.
Yeah.
It's absolutely free for realtors, right? So yes, hey, if you got phone burner or whatever, that's great. Those great tools, use it.
Yep.
Okay, but this is a force multiplier like never before. Right. There's no way.
I could take my entire past client database, right? I could actually upload it into AngelAi if I got 400, 500 individuals, right? Okay. And then it could start to actually vet out those individuals that actually are in highest probability of maybe I'm thinking about selling at this time based upon communication and dialogue that it has back and forth. And then that way, instead of me having to call through all 400 to 500, right, which I continue to market to, I have the ability to say out of those 400 to 500, here's the 20 that are the highest probability based upon what Angel has actually vetted out that are going to do something, and spend more time on them while I'm continuing to do my traditional marketing and everything else with this rest of the group.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Right. And then AngelAi does all of the compliance for you automatically. A lot of realtors are not fully aware. It's very tricky. It's the state by state rules on do not call, on text messaging, and so forth. And when you use something, these off-the-shelf CRM systems, they're very sloppy when it comes to staying up to date on the TCPA rules.
Yeah.
And they're sloppy because they're not liable. You're liable.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
and do you know what's interesting, Pavan, as I think about this too, sort of going back and forth, is people think, well, do I still need to have good skills? And if AI is working so effectively, and for me, the answer is they need to be even better. Right. And here's why, because all of a sudden now, if these are vetted out, if I'm getting really good, high quality caliber conversations, right, I need to make sure that I am so effectively, that my skill level is at a level of excellence to have great conversations, that I don't blow it when I have the opportunity, because there's so much more that it seems taking place right now, in the background as people are making their decision, that when we get that actual human engagement interaction, it's got to be spot on. We got to be even more effective as a salesperson, whether it's a loan officer with an agent, loan officer with a borrower, buyer with a seller, buyer with an agent with a seller, an agent with a buyer, or an agent that's recruiting. We have to be even better with those. Do you agree on that?
Yeah, I will go back to my email analogy. Okay, because now you have to be a better writer today than you were before, when you were paper emails, postal letters, because everyone's inundated with so much emails.
Mhm.
right? So if you don't write well, if you don't write a good subject line, if you don't get people's attention, it's going to get ignored.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, your skills have to be better. This will force you to improve your skills, because every single call that you will take now are interested, ready to move buyers, and you got to be prepared to handle the exceptions. You got to be prepared to get your point across quickly and get them in that listening mode and trust mode.
Totally.
Right. So yes, if anything, the human side of you has to get better and will be forced to get better, right? Because the mechanical side of you is getting replaced by the machine.
Got it. Which, if you have the time, why would you not? I mean, I think, why would you not improve the skill? Why would you not take the time to practice? Why would you not be doing that? And I'm just, I'm interested. I mean, I've talked about this and being able to have like AI that has an ability. Like, here's where my head goes. I would love to be able to go on a listing presentation, right, or a buyer consult, and then the person gives me an objection, and I say, okay, Angel, I've got this buyer. They just said X, Y, and Z, right? Here's the objection that they gave me. How should I respond to it? And then it just, boom, it gives me script in a pocket. You know what I mean? I think that there's a world that we're getting to where you're going to be able, like, the dialogues are going to be, because if chat GPT right now is at 150, 155 IQ, which is Einstein, right? And it's going to expand exponentially. Pretty soon it's going to have access to whatever it is that we want it to be able to actually craft out for us. We just have to be able to communicate effectively, because then our skill is, can we communicate and connect with human beings on a deep and meaningful level, in the face of all the technology that's going in the background as well, too.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, you don't want to be reading a script.
No.
Right? We've all seen those politicians who are just reading a script, and you just, like, you're not going to connect.
Oof.
Right.
Yep.
And it's the same thing, right? You don't want to be having chat GPT or AngelAI generate the script for you, and you're reading it and you just sound like you're reading a script.
You gotta get it down.
Yes, you got to read this, whatever the AI generates or any other tool you use generates, read it, understand it, absorb it. It got to become part of your personality, right? And you got to speak it with your personality and with your own emotion, and your own being has to come out in there, because people want to do business with people, not with scripts.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally.
Scripts,
Because
right?
the script is robotic if it's not used the right way, right? The script is, anyone can actually do that. So I love that, man. So we're going to have more access to better conversations, right? At least the outline of better conversations moving forward. We need to spend as much time now indexing on how to be able to have those conversations. Or the importance of when we finally do get an at bat is even higher, because there's going to be so much going on in the background, right? That they're ready, like they're probably much more vetted out. How do you see AI disrupting the real estate agent moving forward?
That's a good question. Before I answer that, there's a couple of really interesting questions in the live chat. So first is, it is a human making the calls. We call them AngelIstas, because they always have a great attitude, and they're always happy, because look behind me, this is where they live. They live in paradise. The AngelIstas are here in Puerto Rico. They're all bilingual. That was another question. So they speak English and Spanish. Now, AngelAi speaks like 100+ languages. So you can speak to AngelAi in any language. It'll detect what language you're talking in, and it'll reply back to you in that language. The AngelIstas, because they're human, and they're not very few humans are polyglots, and especially, I'm not sure if anyone can speak 100 languages. So they do speak English and Spanish, which is the most important 2 languages in America. And there was another question about, can AngelAi text message your borrowers? And the answer is yes, it can, but it won't, unless it has definitively received a opt-in from your borrower. And again, this is what I was talking about earlier. A lot of these CRM systems make it too easy for you to text message through them, and they don't have the confirmations, they don't have the rules in place to make sure that you actually have a valid TCPA. Okay, and it's getting a valid TCPA is not that easy. Getting a valid text message consent is not that easy, especially if you're in Florida. Anyone here listening is in Florida. Florida, DeSantis signed in law last year. I think it was last year. Really, really tough text messaging laws. And that can get you into a whole host of trouble if you don't have the appropriate opt-in. Okay, so all of those rules, all the regulations, they are programmed into AngelAi. Generally speaking, what we've seen from most realtors and loan officers, they think they have it, but they really don't when we dig into it. So by default, AngelAi does not text message until it itself gets the opt-in from the customer. Okay. And there was another question. There's another, yes, by CRMs. Can AngelAi work with, whatever CRM? The answer is yes and no. You can export data from any CRM, like all CRMs have a CSV or Excel export option. So if you want AngelAi to call, 10,000, we just had a real estate broker in Colorado upload 40,000 plus contacts of past, buyers and sellers into AngelAi, and it's like tearing, tore through all of them, right? So you can upload your past contacts from your current CRM system into AngelAi, and it will call and email them according to the scripts you want in your name. Okay. And AngelAi will also send you daily reports of the progress it made and the contacts it's made. And when one of the Angelistas here in Puerto Rico, one of the Angelistas makes a contact with the borrower and or a seller, and the buyer or seller is interested, okay, the Angelista will do a hot transfer to you. So you get a call coming in from Angelista, that it's a hot, pick up that phone. I see a report of how many times Angelistas try to do a hot transfer and there's no answer on the other end. I'm like, are they crazy? Right? Are these realtors and loan officers crazy? I mean, that is money. The cash register just rang and they didn't pick up that call. All right. So pick up the phone when the Angelistas call you, because that is money in your pocket.
So you got AngelAi that's scrubbing and working and doing all of this, and then all of a sudden it's teeing it up to the Angelista. Did I get that name right? Yes. Angelista, human being, great. I've heard these guys. By the way, I'm an ISA snob, right? You should know. So, and the Angelistas are very good, right? Okay. I will say they're very good. And so then from there, then it gets transferred over. Really what you get is you get your own sales organization with AngelAi, don't you? I mean, it's just
pretty much you get a sales and marketing organization, because you get the websites, the landing pages, the e-blasts, and you just give it the prompts and you talk to it like a human being saying, hey, this is what I want my email to say. This is generally what, the more clear and descriptive you are, the better an email will go out. Yeah. Right. This is what I want on my website, and so on and so on. Right. Yeah. So, and it just gets better and better. Now, one caveat. Okay, we haven't fully released the event websites and customized websites. So we're doing that. It's in beta. We're doing that on a limited basis right now. Okay, listings. If you have a listings and you want a custom listing site with all loan qualifying scenarios, that's available today. And you can go to AngelAi and say you want a listing, and a listing site, and she'll prompt you with all the different things she needs to know. There was a customer contacted me yesterday and said, hey man, this is asking me for a lot of stuff, right? Can't they just get it from the MLS? And the answer is yes, we can get it from the MLS. And we try to get permission from them that can we republish it, because what's happening, we're pulling it from the MLS and republishing it on our site, and they haven't given us permission to do that. So we have hit a roadblock on that front. And once we figure that out, once we get this worked out with the realtors board, then there'll be less work for you all. You'll be able to just give us the address and we'll grab it. So at this point, we just need the permission.
Dude, it's, what's so amazing about this is I coach some of the top teams in North America, right? So the average person and I'm going to share some numbers with you guys, not to impress you, but to actually like create a background on this. Average person that I coach right now is in between 2.75, probably $3 million in terms of their top line GCI. They have a team of 30 to 40 individuals. This is real estate, right? So, it's, obviously I'm not coaching any loan officers right now. So, but I did coach Tyler Wynn, who was a great, again, 16, 20 people in his branch. Biggest challenge that we have, I think, as an industry of real estate agents, I'll speak of real estate, is the long-term follow-up on a lot of these leads that we're getting from our Google pay-per-click and things that we're doing along those lines. The average turn time is 407 days before someone transacts, according to Google, on a pay-per-click lead. Well, most agents don't have the time, don't have the energy, don't have the longevity where they want to actually go 407 300 days of follow-up, right? And I relate it to like playing golf. We're asking like people on our team or even ourselves to make sink a 60-foot putt, right? But what AngelAi does, and then the Angelistas, is it solves what most team leads have the biggest challenge on, which is being able to actually get that ball closer to the pin, right? Where you have the chance to be able to actually put it in within a foot. So it makes it a lot easier. Oh my gosh, here we go.
I have a special guest star. She is, I don't know, 6 inches.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
She won't get much bigger than this. I'm going to be like Dr. Evil, stroking.
But she'll have hair. But she'll keep her hair.
My...
Yeah, she will keep her hair.
So we got her a week ago, and I lost a bet to my kiddo, my 9-year-old, and the bet was a puppy. And well, you gotta. One of the things you learn in business, you have to be a man of your word.
That's right.
Otherwise, you break a trade, and no one will ever trade with you again.
Yep.
So can I make you a bet for a puppy too?
Oh.
Her name is Cookie, and the other reason I brought her up into this podcast today was people were doubting that she's real because she looks like a toy. She's so small.
That's right. You did a post with her.
Look at her. Look at her.
Yes. Yeah, she is real. So, okay, puppy, let's go.
So cute. Don't drop her.
Yes, that's what I'm always afraid of. She's so delicate.
Yeah. So, but you've solved, I mean, and this is, and I've actually had people that have actually used this with you guys as well too. Tammy Crawford, Michael Barron, a couple of other individuals as well too, where they're like, hey, they called through, we got to call, like 150 people. We got 3 individuals, right? That are looking to actually purchase right now. So the hardest part of being an agent, I think in today's world, is being able to follow up with those leads for longer term, and for a loan officer as well too. If you have Google pay-per-click leads instead of the direct referral stuff that's coming in, right? When you're working direct to consumer type of business. So AngelAi and the Angelistas gives you the AI to be able to actually cultivate and nurture the top of the funnel leads. And then Angelistas, as they get to middle of the funnel, begin to actually cultivate that down to hand off over to you. That right there is the challenge that most bigger teams have in being able to actually solve for. And you guys have done that.
Yeah,
so.
It's that whole funnel, and the nurturing process is all automated, right? So you're right. It shouldn't have said never cold call again. What it really means is don't do it yourself.
Yeah.
Right. Just warm call.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It's have, when there's tools available, when something else can do the cold calling for you, use the tool, right? Like, why would you walk to work if you can ride your motorcycle to work?
Yep. Totally. Or your scooter or whatever, right? So yeah.
Exactly. Right. That's the whole reason we have technology, is use the technology.
There's two things that you said. You said one of them on the Housing Wire interview, which really caught my attention. And then you said it again today, but it really came up now. And from a business perspective, is what AI is giving the normal human being is the opportunity to be able to function as if they were a highly, highly successful multi-billionaire that has someone that's doing all the things for them, right? A personal assistant, right? And now I look at what really Angel and the Angelistas do is they allow the normal agent, I'm going to speak from an agent perspective, to be able to actually function as if they had a large team behind them. So, so you don't have to go out there and be able to actually hire all the individuals and do everything else as well too, right?
Yeah.
So.
And I was talking about this earlier, is the experienced, the well-established agents, both on the loan officer side and on the real estate side, they're getting a little sleepy about AI. They're not they're like, well, everything is working. I'm top of the hill. I got my team and all these things. And yeah, I'll look at this AI stuff when I get time. Okay. That is the complete wrong attitude, because the new guy who doesn't have the budget and hasn't been able to build that team, he's got an instant team with
Yeah.
AngelAi. So the new guys are jumping on this. So they may be far in your rearview mirror today,
But they're coming.
Yeah.
They're coming.
Yes, they're going to catch up to you really fast, because everything that you spend years to build, they get at a push of a button.
Yeah.
So now you take all the talent. So the experienced guys, you take all the talent you have and all of these beautiful trained people you have in your team. Okay. And if you don't push the button and use all this tech, okay, and multiply your team to do the more higher value stuff, which is staying in front of these customers and staying in front of more customers,
Mhm.
okay, you're going to get run over.
Totally.
Right, by a stampede of next generation agents. And we saw that same thing happen during the internet. Like a lot of traditional companies, a lot of traditional agents, and just in industries all across, just got completely run over by new companies and new people that leverage the technology correctly.
Yeah. What you want to be careful of is you don't want to become Blockbuster, Sears, Eastman Kodak. I think the list could go Barnes, not even Barnes and Noble, Crown Books, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Like all of these stores, Crown or Music, like the Tower of Music, like all these places that were iconic when I was growing up are gone. Why? Because they didn't stay ahead of and innovate. They actually looked at the innovation as something that was either not going to impact or was not a threat. But really the threat is the person that is doing 5 deals, brand new to the business right now, embraces the technology, embraces the AI, and that's the person, the man or woman, that's going to be knocking off all of those the older agents. And when I say older, you've been in the business for a long period of time. It's an innovation opportunity that exists. It's one of the things that I like. I'm going to lean in right now and say, hey, people ask me, like, what's one of the key things that someone that's earning $1 million? Because I've had the privilege, Pavan, of supporting Angel over 30 people in the course of the last 8 years break that $1 million mark in their real estate. They started at 250,000, and it takes some time. It takes them 2 or 3 years to be able to actually break that. But now they've got these thriving companies, that are just, completely, super strong foundation. What I noticed for them, and this is so interesting because we're spending a lot of time on AI as time, is I teach them the number one move that you have to make in relationship to earning $1 million in real estate is the choices you make with your time. And the number that I give them is 2 numbers, 1,440 and 480. 1,440 and 480. You get 1,440 minutes in the course of the day, and you get to choose with them whatever it is that you want to. You at your net worth have that. I have it at mine. Elon Musk has it at his. Jeff Bezos has it at his. Oprah Winfrey has it at hers. And really what separates those individuals that have the higher net worth or actually impact the world at a greater level, greater scale, is what they choose to do with that 1,440 minutes, right? And then if I look at the 480, when I'm working with an agent and coaching them, I'm like, you need to make decisions that are based around $480 an hour, because if you make enough of those decisions, and is this going to give me $480 or not, you'll earn $1 million. That's your hourly pay at $1 million is $480. What I'm getting right now from you is because I always say to people, I'm like, if it's $480, if it's not that, if you can't actually put a tag on it, it's 480, you need to delegate it or you need to delete it. And they go, well, I don't have an assistant. Well, shit, here you go. You got artificial intelligence that you can actually plug into now, that no one should be going, I'm doing stuff that's $10 an hour now. No, anything that is $40 or $50 an hour, AI should have an ability, Angel should have an ability to be able to actually do for you. Is that correct, Pavan?
That is mostly correct.
Okay.
And the reason I say mostly correct is AngelAi doesn't do it all yet. Okay, but it will very soon. Our goal is to get that 41%. Remember, it's 41% of your day, if not more, is going into things that $10, $15, $20 an hour stuff, right? AngelAi is going to be able to do all of that. So right now, the stuff that it does today, I would say it's at least 20% it will remove. Right? If 2 hours of your days, if Coach Pipe is telling you 2 hours a day should be cold calling, right? So you immediately got those 2 hours back.
Yep.
Right. So that's 20%.
Right there.
Right. Right. It's actually 25%. Do the math.
Yeah. There's a bunch of people like, how do I sign up? How much does it cost? Dude, it's free. Right? That's the punchline, dude. Like of the whole thing, like people come to these things. They're like, oh man, they're going to pitch us. It's free. Like
it is free. And how do you sign up? These are good questions. And there's a bunch of good questions. And there's a question here about who owns the leads and so forth. So we're going to try to get through all of those questions, but let's do the most important questions. How, Angel, can you show the group, how does someone get signed up and get into a workshop? Literally a 1 hour investment of your time, right? That's all it takes. It's not exactly free. Invest an hour, attend a workshop. Okay. And then you'll learn exactly how to use it. And after that investment, that is free.
insane.
So go ahead, Angel.
All right, yeah, let me go ahead and share my screen. So I posted the link in the chat a couple of times for the workshops. We offer these also free live interactive workshops over Zoom every single day. So you can go to angelai.com/workshop. And that'll show you how to get registered. You also can just tell AngelAi workshop and she will help you get registered for the next available session. So we offer those every day at 11 o'clock Pacific. On Fridays, we have an additional afternoon session and we offer them in Spanish as well. So they do fill up fast because we do keep them in such a small group. And the reason why we do that is so that it can be interactive and make sure that you get the most out of that time that you're investing that hour. So you can work directly with that trainer, ask questions. You'll be hands-on in the system. They walk you through some exercises, including creating your account, which you'll be ahead because I'm about to show you. They'll show you how to order one of these super cool AngelAi t-shirts for free. And they'll show you how to do things like, I saw someone in the chat ask about, can AngelAi create marketing materials, open house flyers? They'll show you how to do all of that. And those things take a couple of minutes of your time. And you have for free these materials that you can use. So along with, you'll learn how to use the lead prospecting, all of that good stuff. So to create your account, just go to angelai.com. And that is the informational site. You'll be able to read testimonials. You can learn more about AngelAi, but when you hit chat with AngelAi now, that's when you end up on the AngelAi landing page. It looks just like this. And you'll just hit let's chat. She's going to ask for your name. And as soon as you tell her your name, if this is your first time using it, as Pavan mentioned, AngelAi follows all the rules. So she is going to ask for you to consent to the terms and conditions before you get started. And then she'll ask how she can help. And all you have to do is say create account. So she's going to need 3 things from you: your email address, your phone number, and she'll have you create a password. Once you enter your email, she is going to verify it. Remember, this is a tool for financial institution, so it is important that it's very secure. So you'll get that 4-digit code from your email. Same thing with your phone number. You enter your phone number, and Pavan mentioned this too, very important to get a legitimate legal consent to receive text messages. So you will, after you enter your phone number, consent to receive texts from AngelAi, then you will get that 4-digit code text to you. So you'll verify your phone number. And then lastly, she will just have you create your password. That's going to be the password you'll use to authenticate in the future. Just make sure it follows all the rules. So 8 characters, contains upper lowercase, a number, a symbol, all of that good stuff. And then you will be good to go. So you can, once you have your account, One great thing is AngelAi will start to remember information about you. So as you're using AngelAi for different things like creating your marketing materials, she's going to ask you about your, your license, all the information she's going to need to create those marketing materials. Since you have an account in the future, it'll be even faster for you to create those because she'll have that part of the information. You also can switch devices. So I'm on my computer now. Later on, I can go on my cell phone or on the app, say authenticate, use my email address and password, and then all my prior conversations are there. So it enables you to move from device to device and continue those conversations without missing a beat. But do make sure you sign up for one of those workshops. That's the best way to just really get your feet wet using AngelAi and get some more ideas how you can integrate it in your business. So again, just go to angelai.com/workshop.
Good
Brilliant.
stuff.
Yeah.
Lots of questions in the chat group. I think there's so many questions, so much engagement. I believe the audience has met the standard. And we
I
got
think
they've been a great audience. We only have 10 minutes left. And let's not keep them waiting any longer.
rapid fire.
Yes.
Rapid fire. Okay. So Pavan, first of all, my head's spinning right now, right? In terms of how to be able to actually use this. I was just texting to one of my buddies, Richard Dougal, that's online right now, who's like one of the greatest salespeople I've ever met, right? He's like, "What's up, Bill?" I go, "Can you imagine having NLP?" I mean, just like all the ability that is there with AI to be able to actually make my job as a salesperson that much easier. But I think that there's some fundamentals that are absolutely necessary and mandatory in order. I mean, like, I think honestly, Pavan, Angel, everyone in real estate should be earning 7 figures. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you say. If you're going to play the game and going to make the sacrifices of real estate and be in this and have your own business, if you aren't going for 7 figures, I'm going to say something that may piss some people off. Get out of the way and make room for someone that is at that level of commitment. You know what I mean? So, because that is like, we want to raise the standard, the caliber of agents, then everyone starts playing for that same game, right? Well, coach, I only want to do 500,000. I totally get it. Do it in half time, right? Do it and take 50% off. Use AngelAi to figure out what to do with the additional time, right? Angel, I need to know what to do with an additional 40 hours a week. I'm sure she'll be able to find something for you. Okay.
Yeah, she'll put you on the phone.
Yeah. She says, you should do more prospecting. Can we actually make that so that it is the automatic prompt answer? But so I think first and foremost is really recognizing that if you are going to play the game of real estate, you should be playing it for 7 figures, and it isn't that complicated. It like, people look at that number and they say, "Oh my gosh, it's overwhelming." Well, for most people that are on this call right now, average commission of about $15,000, right? You're talking about 60 to 65 transactions, which can be done with a Navy SEAL team of an agent, 1 or 2 assistants, 1 assistant, and AngelAi, right? And on top of that, maybe a showing assistant that you work with, and you're running this highly margined, like very profitable team, right? Okay. That is a Navy SEAL team. So either way, though, there's a couple of things that you've got to actually embrace. Number one is this. If you're going to sell a lot of real estate, if you're going to fund a lot of loans, and everything that I'm reading, because I'm on this kick right now on understanding why people make calls or not. This is one of 6 books I'm reading on call reluctance right now to be able to actually get to the heart of why it is. One of the most important things that I hear over and over again, I notice for myself and noticing people that I coach, is this. Number one, if you're going to actually succeed, you're going to need to make a lot of calls. It's going to require a lot of energy. And I want you to write that word down. Okay. That if you do not have a ton of energy, you're never going to actually succeed at the level that you need to. Like, I'm watching the special on Jeff Bezos right now, right? Like, from the beginnings of, like the books and how they did it with Amazon and how it expanded and all this other things, dude. And I watch him, that guy's got a ton of energy. Elon Musk, a ton of energy. Pavan, a ton of energy, right? You look at me, I knew a long time ago, like, my superpower is I may not be the smartest or whatever, but I will out energy any mofo out there on the planet. And that's why when people say, "How are you?" everyone knows my answer. I'm alive, excited, and full of energy, right? Because it takes a ton of energy to get hung up on. It takes a ton of energy to be able to actually close 2 or 3 or 4 times. It takes a ton of energy to commit to 2 hours of prospecting. And how do you do that? Well, number one, engage in shit that's inspiring to you by actually using AI to take everything else off your plate. Okay. Number 2 is, I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, eat better, sleep more, drink more water, exercise more. Like, I have yet, no offense, to meet a very successful person that has done business at scale for a long period of time that is overweight, fat, or out of shape. They burn out. Okay. They break down. Right. And if you want to actually succeed at a high level, you have got to be like in great physical shape, energetic shape. And then we go to here. Right. That the second piece, if I'm physically where I need to be, my energy is banging, I mentally need to be as strong. Because if I look at the 30 people that I've coached, they will out mental most people. And it's not because of the fact, when I say out mental, I mean, their personal psychology is at a higher level. They are winners, right? I love this book right here by Tim Grover, man, right? Tim Grover, who was the personal trainer for Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Charles Barkley, man, people that want to, that really actually make a lot of money. And money, look, I know you're maybe saying, well, Bill, like money. It's the measure of business, guys. I'm sorry. Right. So, and it's okay for you to earn a lot of money. I think everyone needs to actually say that, if you would, please. Like, everyone needs to say, I deserve to earn a boatload of cash, because until you adopt that, you're going to have some type of weird, like pushback on it. So
wait, I like that. I like that. I deserve to earn a boatload of cash.
Yeah.
Everyone say it out loud, wherever you are.
Right.
And by the way, I gave you the PG-13 version because I deserve to earn a SHITTON is actually the normal phrase, but I'm PG-13.
This is a family channel.
This is a family channel, yes. And it's a family channel so that no one here can spell.
That's right, exactly.
Right, but the keyword,
Angel, what does SHITTON mean? Right.
I need that bleeper button we talked about a while ago.
The key word is earn. You're not entitled to a boatload of cash. You have to earn it. Yeah. Right. So earning it means doing all of the other tips that Coach Pipe is talking about. It's not going to just $1 million is just not going to fall on you. Nope. Right. No one's entitled to that. Nope. Okay. So continue, please. Yeah, this is amazing.
Sure. Yeah. It's interesting because you and I were in conversation on something as well too, which was incredible. I was, for those of you that don't know, I'm in startup mode, man. I've always been a really strong number 2 for organizations and companies, right? Where I was like Mike Ferry's number 2, Tom Ferry's number 2, right? I played that role so well that finally I just said, man, I need to have like the guts to be able to go out. People ask me, why did I do it? And because I think that's another piece as well too. If you're going to go for 7 figures or a large income, people always talk about, well, what's your why? No, for me, it was Mike Ferry taught me this a long time ago. Like, this is about winning. If you're going to win at a high level, you need to know what you want exactly. And then number 2, you have to ask yourself, why is this an absolute must, not just a good idea? There's a lot of personal growth and development gurus out there, Pavan and Angel, that will say, well, get in touch with your why. And, really, what is that? Empathetic. Look, for me, it's not that altruistic. Yes, I want to help people. I have 1,000 people that I want to get over. I'm committed to getting over the $1 million mark, to dent the space of and the universe of real estate and show this can be done. But there's also it's an absolute must, because in my mind, if I go for this and I don't succeed at the level that I know I can, then everything I've taught is bullshit. Excuse me, bull crap. You know what I mean? And so
bleep. Family channel. Come on, Coach.
Yeah.
My kids are watching.
I know. Sorry about that, guys. So what that does is that makes it an absolute must for me to get up early. It makes it an absolute must for me to get on the phone. It makes it an absolute must for me to not curse as much as I used to. It makes it an absolute must, for me to be able to maintain the right mindset and do all the things. It is an absolute must, not just a good idea. And number 3, if you're going to perform at excellence in anything in your life, you have to ask yourself this question, which is, what is the sacrifice? What am I willing to sacrifice? Because there will be a sacrifice that comes in terms of great success. Whether that's me being able to go to my son's football game on August the 11th, it's a scrimmage that I won't be there because I'm speaking in Nashville. But see, I came to grips with that, Pavan and Angel, that these are sacrifices that need to be made in order for me to have the success that it is that I'm committed to, so that this is an absolute must. I don't feel guilty about it. It's a choice.
The key word there is not really sacrifice, is grip, right? Because you made the decision that you're gonna sacrifice going to that game, but I'm assuming, I'm gonna go out and limb here, that you've also been you come to grips with it, you're communicative with it.
Yep.
You're not trying to hide it, not trying to avoid it.
No.
You took it head on, you looked your son in the eye and said, hey man, I'm not gonna be able to be at this game.
Yep. And I owned it, and he knew it because we have business conversations around the house. He goes, Dad, I know you're growing a business. Now, on the flip side, because of these sacrifices, we're also going on a 2-week cruise on a 100+ foot yacht in the off the coast of Greece on the Isles for his senior year. So he's like, if I miss a scrimmage, he's like, not a big deal. We got the boat. Now, my daughter, on the other hand, said, Dad, well, can we just go on a Carnival cruise instead? I'm like, baby, we're getting our own boat. You're missing something right here. Okay.
Oh boy. I can't wait to see the bill for this 1 hour.
Oh my gosh. Right. AngelAi, can you help me to be able to
guess who's paying for that yacht?
Yeah, right.
You didn't know that's what you were agreeing to. Huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Yes.
Yeah. So now here's the last bit, right? Here's the last bit. Last bit is this. Every single person that has accomplished amazing things in their business has embraced failure, and not failure as failure, but failure as feedback. Because really what you've got to recognize that at the level, and Tim Grover said this to me. I spent time with Tim. Tim said to me, he said, Bill, I asked him, what's the difference between those individuals, the Kobe's, the Michaels, the Dwayne Wades, these like iconic figures in sports, right? And he said, it's really easy, Bill. He goes, what happens when you get knocked down? And I looked at him, and we're having lunch. I said, well, you get right back up. And he goes, no, that's not it. When the greats get knocked down, they stay down for a little bit. They ask themselves questions like, what caused this? How am I responsible? What are the changes I need to make? What's the lesson I need to learn? And how am I going to come at this differently so it never happens again? That was a big change for me, because at that moment, what I began to recognize and see, and what all of you can see too, is failure is your greatest asset, right? In terms of being able to if you can look at it not as the end of the road, but really the opportunity to adjust and come stronger. So there is no failure. There's only feedback when you're actually on this path for excellence. And you said it to me, you go, Bill, there's always going to be challenges. There's always going to be problems, because Pavan's like I would say a mentor for me, right? We talk all the time. And he's like, dude, the problems never go away. They actually get bigger. You just are more prepared to answer the bigger problems, and you get paid to the level of the problems that you can answer and solve. So I appreciate that conversation. So that's there's your 6 or 7 points, guys.
I will add on to the last point. I know we're at the hour, but I will add on to the last point. It's a little bit more than just when you get knocked down, right? And someone kicks you in the teeth, right? It isn't just about saying, a lot of people will stop and say, what, I could have done this, I could have done that. With the excuse of analyzing to say I could be better, what they end up doing is dwelling. Okay, they end up replaying the moment over and over and over again, and that leads down to a path of depression. Okay, so the question you should ask yourself, this is what I learned myself the hard way, isn't even going into analyzing exactly what happened and what you could have done this or could have done that, right? It's not Wile E. Coyote saying, why did I fall off the cliff again? Okay, no, that's not the right way. The right way, Wile E. Coyote's problem is his mindset, right? The reason he keeps falling off the cliff is his mindset. Okay, so you need to stop and ask yourself, what was your mindset? Not the mechanical mistakes you made. Yes, you could always say, I should have turned right instead of left. I should have called him earlier or whatever. No, I mean, you go down that path, you are going down a path of doom, because you're going to be reliving that life moment, the bad moment in your life over and over again. Yeah. You have to ask yourself, why was my mindset such that I created that situation for myself?
Totally. Taking responsibility. That's the first, it really is. How am I? That's the question that Grover said they ask. How am I responsible? That's the number one question. How am I responsible? Like, how am I responsible? What did I do that created this? What am I meant to learn? and how will I approach it differently so it never happens again? It's a full responsibility play versus most people go, why does this happen to me? Poor Wile E. Coyote is the example of doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something else to happen. You can watch that and go, there he goes again. How many times are you going to get on that damn rocket and think you're going to catch up with the Roadrunner? It just ain't going to happen, dude. So thank you for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Okay. And then there's a lot of questions left unanswered. You all could drop an email to me. I'll put my email here. And ask me your questions. And either I or Angel Lynn will get back to you with specific answers. I'm sorry, there was wonderful engagement. I'm sorry we couldn't answer everybody's question. We tried our best. There's a lot of very good questions that are left unanswered. So thank you again, everyone.
They really wanted all of those tips, Bill.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Bill, where can they
They're all
find
still
you
around.
on social media, your website, anything you want to share with them?
Follow me on there's at www.coachpipes.com if you want to find more information about our company, what we do from a coaching standpoint perspective, be able to support real estate agents and entrepreneurs. And then you can obviously follow me at Coach Pipes on Instagram. And would love to stay in communication and connected with you guys. And I will tell you, like this right here, like I have spent a year like talking to Pavan, talking to Sam, talking to Angel, and I have not seen anything like this that's out there. And the fact that it's open source, i.e. free, is the most beautiful thing that it is. And I think it's a testament to just who you are, Pavan, in terms of making a commitment to be able to impact. So thank you for that. All right.
Cheers. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks so much for being on. Thanks everyone for joining. We'll see you next week.